Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dinga and welcome to a castle story tutorial. I know you don't exactly want a castle story tutorial right now, you're more interested in where's the actual castle story. And I completely understand that. The main reason for there being a castle story tutorial, not a castle story episode, is primarily because of the fact that I want to... well, I've been requested to make a map by at least one of you. So I thought it'd be good to kind of, in the meantime, just work on castle story tutorials. So here we are. Now, in this tutorial I'm going to kind of give you a few survival tips, a few things you might want to kind of attempt in order to kind of survive a bit longer in your games. And this is all based off stuff I have, like, advice I've been given in the past. Now, I'm just going to quickly send Flute and Wood Bob over there. And I'm just going to create a construction task. And I'm going to create a bunch of stockpiles. So I'll just create like 5, 6, that's not 6, that's 10. And just sort of create like this weird intricate design that works. That's what's important. It must be weird, it must be intricate, and it must work. Right, there we go. So that'll be fine, and I'll just set Jujube to do that. Right. Now, key thing to remember with Castle Story is it's all about kind of slowing down your opponent and making it so you can easily kill them. This works in both conquest and invasion, so I would highly recommend just working on either or, really, at the end of the day. It's something important regardless, because the AI, as of our last update, I believe, has been improved. I'm not sure how much it's been improved. Whether it's been improved enough to warrant this, I'm getting messages on Facebook, that's bad. But the point is, it's important to kind of know these steps. So, the first thing I'm going to teach you is how to create a stepping stone kind of thing. Hurdles, there we go, hurdles. Because that'll slow down all Corruptrons and Bricktrons. So the best thing to do, that basically makes it so archers can actually do some damage, because in the most recent update they've essentially been strongly nerfed. Now enemies they could take out in 1 hit now take like 5 hits, and enemies they could take out in 3 hits now take like 15. It's monumental, the size of the health that's being taken off now. Taked off. I'm getting good at English. Anyways, the reason why I'm teaching you this really quickly is because, like I said, it's very, very important to surviving. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you some quick advice. So this has made this, and this is like the perfect width, because it covers the entire bridge, and there's no way Corruptrons can have a sneaky way around. The only problem I have with this is that for some reason I can't drag it down to the depth I need it, because you need to have a 2 block depth, because a 2 voxel depth will ensure that, one, you can create another stone platform below, because if you create a stone platform below, then the Corruptrons, when they die, their stones that they drop cannot group together to create a solid block that the Corruptrons can then walk across. So it's important to kind of have that. And I will be cutting a lot, so it'll be sort of like, and here's it in progress, and this, that, and the other. But right now, it's just sort of giving a few recommendations. So yeah, this is literally just me creating this. And I'll see you in about maybe 10 minutes. And I'm not surviving on this map before anyone asks, because I mean, it's just awful. Okay, so we're still in the process of actually building this, and I understand I've just suddenly jumped back, but this is sort of the idea we needed to do. So I've brought it down one more so we can dig a 2 deep trench. Now, as you can see, they're slowly building it, and we've got a crap ton of stone supplied over here. We've got our 4 landscape people doing the landscaping. Now, what you want is, since this is here, you don't want to put a hurdle here, because that will be a waste. What you instead want to do is put a hurdle there. So you basically want to make a flat stone platform within that 2 deep, so it turns it from a 2 deep trench to a 1 deep trench with a stone base. This is very, very useful, especially when it comes to surviving later waves, because it can basically make you, so rather than surviving until wave 20, let's say, you can survive until wave 50. This single kind of strategy can do that. I'm just going to quickly send these to do their thing. Come on, defend. Also, it appears friendly fire has been removed from the game. I'm just saying that right now because I have seen arrows go through teammates to hit the corruptrons behind them. Run. No, run. Trust me, you're better off running. See, look, like that should have hit the teammate, but rather than hitting the teammate, it actually hit the enemy. So, very, very, very good news for everyone who is sick and tired of shooting their own teammates. That's interesting. Also, this is interesting as well. I do quite like the fact that, yeah, that's a thing. Anyways, also, I did a quick test. Not an intentional test, it was completely accidental, but it worked. If one of your Brictrons dies, after a while they automatically come back as the Brictron they previously were. So it's not like you can take Jujubee, throw him off a cliff, and then bring him back as a warrior. No, he comes back as the same thing no matter what. No matter how he dies. So it basically puts you in a position whereby if your warriors die really early in a wave and you're somehow able to hold them back, maybe with this, there's a chance they'll respawn and be able to defend your crystal before the corruptrons get there. Whether that's actually a thing that'll happen is another thing, but it could happen. And another thing to note is the fact that Brictrons now not move quicker with bricks, but they do move quicker with like stone sacks, and they also jump and everything a lot quicker than usual. So it's easy to get people from the crystal back here when they're healing, which if you didn't know, you need to take Brictrons back to your crystal to heal. You can actually take them from there all the way to the battlefield in a matter of seconds. Like, look at the speed at which they get this done. It's like just instantly down, run across, instantly down, run across, and then getting back up is incredibly quick compared to how it previously was, where they awkwardly clambered up. So they're almost finished doing this, and once they're finished doing this, we can thankfully move on to doing more important stuff, like actually finishing off the trench, basically. What the hell have I done there? I don't even know how I did that. Right, okay. No, don't, no, no. Fuck. Right, well, it appears I'm just gonna have to live with the fact that they're currently... I end up placing this a bit too early, and they destroyed the wall, basically. Yep, there we go. I'm just gonna cancel making that, and that. Right. I'm just gonna quickly make them repair that block. It's also good to actually have a, to basically make a repair kind of thing here. So, should any blocks somehow get damaged, which is unlikely because the Corruptron should see it less as a thing that needs to be damaged and more as just something that's there and they need to climb over. Actually, that's a point. If the Bricktrons move a lot quicker, I'm not sure how quickly the Corruptrons will move, but we'll find out. But this is the sort of device you want to basically place to make your Bricktrons do a lot better against like Corruptrons and such. You're gonna go on repair duty. Oh, it appears you don't actually need stone to repair, you just need to send a Bricktron over there to do their job. So that's very useful information that I wasn't actually aware of because I never actually used the repair task. I'm just gonna... Hopefully they finish off doing that pretty soon. Because I would very much like to be able to move on with this. Yeah, good. Right, we can do that. And then we can move on with the whole construction side of things at least. Right, we'll just... So, yeah, like I said, stone platform on the bottom. And then I'm gonna wait to actually see where the... Yeah, that's... Okay, that's fine. And then just all the way across. Right. And why they're not digging up this okay, apparently they couldn't find storage, which is probably a reasonable explanation as to why they can't actually do anything. Just put GGB on construction G. Because why not? We need construction to be done so we can actually get on with things. I'm just gonna... So, like I said, space it out one at a time so they've got to jump down and then immediately climb back up so there's no space for kind of breathing. And as you can see, they've now got to climb. Now got to climb down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down, then up, then down, and up, and down, and up. And that'll basically slow them down from reaching the crystal in about, I'd say, 10 seconds to about maybe 30, if that. Maybe it's 25. I'm not sure on the exact timing, but it will slow them down drastically. I'm just gonna spawn another archer. Also, another thing to note is, at least from what I can tell, archers are no longer knocked back by rocks, meaning you can build like little platforms like this and not have them get knocked off and die. Right, move on to construction. There we go, perfect. Right, delete this landscape task. I mean, you can place multiple landscape tasks and kind of have several layers of hurdles if you really wanted to, but whether you do that is up to you. So as you can see, they're currently building here. And this is far better than building a trench, purely because in the past I've built trenches and all that ends up happening is the Corruptrons basically run up to your trench, knock out a bit of the wall, and then continue on their way. Right, there. Now, hopefully we'll get a... Nah, we aren't going to get a... But yeah, as you can see, friendly fire no longer is a factor. And hopefully, whilst they're building this, I'll just run through a few quick things. Warriors, I've noticed, warriors and archers do the exact same amount of damage. The only difference is warriors, one, have a lot more health and also can block, but archers actually attack faster, but are a lot more inaccurate. So basically, warriors are a guaranteed hit. So at least in if it comes to hitting constantly and doing damage, warriors are your best bet. However, if you want ranged damage but there's a slight chance they'll miss. That's the only problem with archers, is they have a chance to miss. Sometimes it'll be like once or twice per Corruptron. I've seen it happen to the point where it's like 7 or 8 times in a row and they just can't hit him. But oh well, it happens, I suppose. But yeah, as you can see, this is coming along nicely. And then Beba and Bogo, my warriors, can demonstrate exactly what this hurdle can do. I believe this can be done on most maps. The only thing that you have to do if for example you're on a platform like this and you want to make it, and let's say this is endless and this is endless, so there's no actual way, what you have to do is you have to kind of create a funnel. So you have to create 2 walls either side, force them down the central path, and then create a bunch of hurdles. Now, the problem with this idea is primarily the fact that there is a very small chance they'll break down the wall to the side and just go straight through. But that's usually only if the hurdles are blocked. And if you aren't aware, this is what's called a choke point, because it essentially it also bottlenecks. It's also known as a bottleneck because it basically limits the amount of Corruptrons that can come through at any given time, and also slows them. So yes, there you are. Now I've found that since the Brictrons even don't actually damage each other anymore with arrows, you can stack like 7 or 8 on a tower now and just let them go ham. And it can work. I think they've actually, to counter the fact that they've now got a severe drop in damage, I believe the archers now fire quicker, so they're beneficial in that regard, and also range damage. Except that it seems like the Corruptrons might actually be point on accurate. So basically, it turns into long range combat, and really you should only be using warriors to defend a specific point. So for example, you should use them here to defend this choke point, because once they actually get through, that's when you're going to need more force, because the archers can shoot them anywhere else, whereas the warriors are very much designed to defend areas. So they will defend this area. I'm going to put it just a bit bigger, maybe to that, and move it back a bit, just so we don't end up in a situation where it's them kind of, what's it called, like them going on the choke point, because we don't want that at all. I've actually asked for this, and I think it was Shadowjan suggested that this was a good idea, that they create square patrol areas for both warriors and archers to allow you to kind of place it atop a tower, so that they'll just constantly patrol the tower. So for example, you'll get archers patrolling a tower, and then they'll fire to the east, let's say, and there'll be corruptrons, and then once the corruptrons have left their site, they'll move to a more advantageous place within the patrol area you've set. Now, when this gets implemented, hopefully it works like that, but I don't know. Go to the Castle Story forums to basically find out about that. Also, if you go to the Castle Story forums, there is a post, I'm not exactly sure in what discussion, but there is a post I made about entering a tournament, because I am aiming to put together a Castle Story tournament, a conquest tournament, and it should be good. It should be fun. And as you can see, everything is sort of coming together. And hopefully it'll be finished. So actually I'll send them across. Just so I can demonstrate. Right. Now these hurdles should be finished by the time the corruptrons come, so that's good. And then I don't really know what else to kind of put into this tutorial, because I mean combat itself is just sort of make sure your warriors are in a defensive position near the crystal, and make sure your archers are in a position where they can take out targets from a range, because that's basically all you need to use both those units for. I have actually suggested that it could be quite fun if they create a cauldron, and within the cauldron you can put like certain things, like for example a green chemical, there could be a green potion that archers could dip their arrows into, and it creates like a poison effect when it hits an enemy. And stuff like that. I've also suggested that it could be a good idea to kind of, I don't know, just make it a bit more complex, maybe add armor, because as you can see, these guys currently have a shield and a helmet, but they have no like body armor, so it could be quite good if we get like body armor. And another upside, they've actually said they're going to implement the ability to basically you can make a building, have a wooden roof for the building, and put things on the wooden roof, rather than being stuck in a situation where it's like, oh, I've made a wooden roof and now I can't do anything because it just won't let me. Right, here you go, it's done. I'm just gonna send them all over here, and I'll demonstrate it with the warriors. So as you can see, this hurdle system's been made. Now you gotta send them across here, and as you can see, it slows them down drastically, so these archers can just take care of them. Really, the best idea I have is kind of create like an archway, so the corruptrons can still come through, but the archers have kind of just a fire down upon them kind of situation. And then it makes it a lot easier to hit anything. But yeah, as you can see, look, they're all coming. And now they've actually got to climb down and climb back up. And as you can see, the rocks don't knock them back anymore. No. Ah, see, this is what you don't want happening. Because if this happens, then it puts them into a position where they've basically, if you try to retreat, they have to awkwardly run back through a choke point that's designed to slow everything down. And thankfully, because of its size, the Corruptron won't actually see this as a like obstacle. They'll just see it as something to climb over, so they won't try and break it down. And as you can see, things are very much easier when you have this hurdle system. So I'd like to thank you all for watching. My name has been Dinga. Leave a like if you've enjoyed this tutorial and are looking forward to the new Castle Story series that will start when I get the map finished. Subscribe to become a true sir and keep up to date with everything that I post. Good day, and I will see you next time.